This is the plaintiff, Marion Coral. She says she purchased a truck for a young man who worked for her, and he ended up taking off with the vehicle and was never heard from again. The guy she bought the car from, the defendant, made himself the lien holder. Therefore, he's now 100% responsible for her loss. That is why she's suing him, here and now in this courtroom, for the $5,000 she's definitely owed. This is the defendant, John Mazzone. He says the plaintiff told him to put her employee's name on the title of the car, and he told her once he does that, the car's her employee's and no longer hers, even though she was paying for it. She told him that was fine, and now all this time later, she comes after him and sues him because her employee took off with the truck? Oh, sorry, but she's plumb out of luck. He's accused of making a big mistake.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Marion Corral?
Yes.
Okay. You are suing Wheels Unlimited of Patchogue, represented here by Mr. Mazzone, for $5,000 that you say you were out on a deposit you put on a car from his dealership and actually on the purchase price of a car that you bought from his dealership. Tell me what's going on here, because this is rather confusing.
I had an employee that worked for me, and for a short period of time, and he lost.
What kind of business?
I have a delicatessen in East Patchogue.
And he was an employee of yours at the delicatessen?
Yes, for a short period of time. And there was a tragic accident, and he lost his brother and the car. So not having transportation, we were driving, and other employees were driving him back and forth. We decided to help him get some transportation so he can be on his own. Prior to me doing that, I went to my attorney, which I have a paper from, because I wanted him to draw up something for me to protect my interest, like how I get paid back or something like that. He said to me, Marion, nothing supersedes being lien holder on the title to protect your interest.
I'm sure the attorney told you to get the loan in writing as well, right?
Right. Yes.
So can I see that?
Oh, I don't have that with me. We wrote up a program, and he was going to pay $250 a week for the car until I was paid in full.
Okay, so go on.
And then what had happened was, after about 3 weeks, he skipped on me, and I didn't see him anymore.
How long did you know this guy?
For about 6 weeks, but other employees of mine knew of him, and it was
How'd that work out for you?
Not well.
Right.
Not well.
It's not like this guy is a 20-year employee of yours.
No.
Okay, so go on. So then what happens next?
So I called the defendant up, and I asked him, how do I proceed?
How did you hear about the defendant? Like, how did you pick him?
When I would drive Joe to work, we would pass Wheels Unlimited, and he said to me that he bought a car there once before, and that he had lower priced cars and more affordable things. So he said maybe we could stop in there.
Okay, so you call him?
Well, we went to the dealership with Joe, and he picked something out. And I gave $380, and then I gave the next day $1,000. You know, at that time.
Who were you doing your dealings with at the defendant's place? The defendant himself or someone else?
The defendant, I believe.
Go on.
And then I put the rest on my charge, which I think was $36.38, the balance of the car.
Why would you guys take a credit card for most of the purchase of a car?
We normally don't.
Yeah, why did you in this case?
Well, she was a local business person, and I just didn't think there'd be a problem.
Go ahead.
So I called up the defendant, and I told him that this guy took off, and how do I exercise the...
Wait, but what does took off mean?
I didn't see him. He didn't come to work after about 3 weeks.
Right, but everybody who works at your deli knows him and vouch for him. So where is he? Do you know where he lives?
He was living with his father at the time.
Right, but did you go search him out?
Yes, I did. And that's why I have Mr. Montalbano with me.
And who is he?
And Tommy Montalbano is a friend of mine who's in the auto business, and also I asked him maybe.
In the auto business, why don't you buy a car from him?
His are much more expensive.
Oh, what kind of friend?
And I have, yeah, and I have.
All right.
But so we were hoping that maybe Tommy could assist me and figure out what to do next, because quite frankly, I couldn't believe that he took off.
Okay, so let's rewind 1 second.
Yes.
Just stay with. All right, so you're at the dealership and you're striking a deal to buy the car and you put it on your credit card.
Right.
My question is there any other discussion between you guys?
The dealer and myself?
And you.
Oh, I said to the dealer that, I took him on the side and I told him that I was a little concerned about, doing this. And I said that I wanted to make sure that I protected myself and be lien holder on the car.
Okay, so tell me the discussion about you being lien holder.
Okay, well, I told the defendant that I went to my attorney and that he told me that I should be a lien holder on the title to protect my interest.
Okay.
Because I really didn't have.
And what did the defendant say to you?
He said that he would take care of it. And the defendant even recommended to me, he said, why don't you if you're so worried, why don't you put the title of the car in your name? And I said, I didn't want to put the title in because God forbid something happens. I didn't want the exposure, the liability. I said, I own my home, I own my business. So I said, I really put everything in Joseph's name, just put me as the lien holder because I did not want the liability.
Okay. And in fact, what happened is that when the title comes back, you are not the lien holder, he is the lien holder.
Yes, ma'am.
Why did you list yourself as a lien holder if the car was paid in full in the form that you accepted?
For exactly the reason what happened. If I take a credit card for a purchase and it's not going in the person's name that's on the credit card, I put a lien on the title of the vehicle.
Do you tell people you're putting a lien
Yes.
on a title that has a zero on a car purchase that has a zero balance?
I tell them that when I.
Did you tell her you were making yourself lien holder?
Yes.
Did he tell you he was making himself lien holder?
No, Your Honor.
Did she tell you she wanted to be a lien holder?
No, she did not. She told me at no time she wanted to be a lien holder.
Okay, but I have a letter from her lawyer saying he did advise her to do that. That doesn't mean she followed the lawyer's advice. But, she's clearly has some concern over this that causes you to say, well, why don't you just put the car in your name, right?
At the time when her and the purchaser was in my office, I told her right in front of Joe, I said, if you're going to buy the car for Joe, you should title it in your name.
Well, but hold on. Didn't you think it was a gift? Or you knew there was a loan agreement between the two of them?
I thought it was a gift, but I wanted...
You didn't think it was a gift?
No,
because if you think it's a gift, there's no reason for her to title the car in her name. That's a lie.
I thought it was a gift, but I also knew she was buying it because the boy worked for her. So I know how gifts go. Sometimes gifts are Indian gifts.
No, here's how gifts go. They are a gift. Okay. What ends up happening is here, when the guy skips on her and stops reporting to work, she panics, you call him, right? And you say to him what?
How do I activate the lien that's on the title?
In my name.
In my name.
And he says to you, I don't know what you're talking about, I didn't put a lien in your name.
He said the lien for the title is in my name, his name.
Right.
So I said, why would that be? And he said to me, because that's what I did. So
then you say to him, well, we possess the car because the guy's not making payments, he's not working the debt off, he's not there. And he says, I can't repossess the car because he hasn't done anything to cause me to repossess a car. I'm paid in full for my car.
But, Your Honor, I might also want to add that there's no way for me to put a lien on a vehicle in her name. It's just impossible.
Why?
Because she doesn't have a lien filing number with DMV.
Why?
Because motor vehicle, you need a lien filing number.
Then you get a lien filing number. Let me just stop. You're wrong about what you're saying.
No,
that there's no way for a lien to be placed in her name. But if I believe her that she told you she wanted a lien and you just ignore her, you can't then come later and say, oh, it was impossible to do what she wanted anyway, so it doesn't matter that I didn't do it.
You're right.
I'm fascinated by all of this. I am trying to figure out why you are suing him. I know why you're suing him, because you say you made it clear to him you wanted a lien and he didn't follow your wishes. So when you find out that the lien's in his name and he tells you, I can't do it, I'm not going to repossess the car, I'm not owing any money. You then decide, well, watch this, now you're going to be owed some money. So you call your credit card company and you charge back the $3,800.
I called my credit card company and told my credit card company what was going on, and that I had
so you
a
charged
problem
back the $3,800
with a merchant, and they advised me. They said that they would give.
Ma'am, did you charge back the $3,800?
Yes,
right.
Your
So
Honor.
then now you are out $3,800. So what do you do?
After about, probably about a month, going back and forth with the credit card company, waiting for a decision, I spoke to Joe and I told Joe that.
Wait, how'd you speak to Joe? I thought Joe went off to
I called him on his
Tahiti.
number. I called his phone number.
Oh, you called a phone number and you got Joe on a phone number. Looky here. Okay. And so you got Joe, and what did Joe say?
I spoke to Joe and told him that Marion Corral had stopped payment and charged back the credit card. I'm going to have to pick the truck up. But I said, at this point, you'll probably get it back, but I can't guarantee it. And he understood.
Why are you so sympathetic to Joe?
Because I seen how she treated Joe.
What do you mean?
She treated Joe like he was her slave.
What are you talking about? According to you, she was giving Joe a $5,000 gift.
Right. But
all
then,
slaves should be treated like that.
I guess so.
So I don't get what you're saying.
Well, because I came into the deli and she was ordering around and barking around, and the guy was, she was just treating him like she owned him.
I don't get it. But your version is that she wasn't loaning him money to buy a car, she was giving him a car.
Correct. Yes.
So you tell Joe what? Why don't you just repossess Joe's car?
About a month after Citibank charged back my account, I repossessed the car.
All right. Well, and then what happens?
At that point, Mr. Tommy Montalbano came down to me yelling and screaming and said, I got to do the right thing by Miss Corral and stuff. And after a while...
What was he asking you to do?
To give her the repo the truck and not give it back to Joe. Well, I had the truck already at that point, not to give the truck back to Joe because Marion's already been through this with him. She purchased a car from him for a pizza guy, and he left.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah.
Yes, it is, ma'am.
A guy who worked for you?
A guy who worked for me.
Okay, go ahead.
And I explained the whole story to him, and he calmed down. I said, look, this is between...
What did you tell him? Wait, let me ask you. What did he tell you?
He had told me that he knew Joe, and he said that he was going to probably get the car back to him. The title and everything is in his name, and he,
Did you and he talk about the lien or lack thereof?
Yes.
What did he say?
He had said, I said that why did you place yourself as a lien holder, and why didn't you place Marion as the lien holder? And he said that he was protecting his interests. I said, what interest are you protecting? You were paid in full.
See, here's a problem that I'm having. I'm having multiple problems. I don't necessarily trust him. But I also don't trust that Marion's a really good businesswoman who makes decisions based on, okay? I think she makes decisions based on her heart.
Not my head.
That is correct. I don't know what discussions took place that day, but let's assume for a moment that the discussion that took place is make me lien holder. I'm trying to understand why he wouldn't then just make both him and her lien holder.
Can't do it.
Why can't you?
She doesn't have a lien filing code. In DMV, New York State, you need a lien filing code.
Okay, just stop. Just because someone's not doesn't have a prior number doesn't mean that they can't be a lien holder out of time.
It's possible for her to go to DMV and put a lien on it, yes. Not for me to do it for her.
I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. I think that you are a self-interested individual. I think that you were friends with Joe, so you're totally on Joe's side.
I'm not friends with Joe.
Stop talking. I'm not inviting you to speak.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, you had a business employee after 6 weeks says, hey, can you loan me money for a car?
No way.
Why?
Because I've only known you for 6 weeks.
Okay, well, what's the problem? What's the special problem when it's an employee that you're loaning it to?
You can't trust somebody you don't know. You can't give...
Anything special, though, about an employer loaning it to an employee?
The fact that I'm owning a business and they're coming in and then I'm supposed to trust them? I mean, this is...
Well, no, they say that they're really hard up, but how are you going to keep...
But I'm the boss here, and then we have a different relationship going on here. You're an employee of mine, and we need to
So the answer is no.
The answer
Gotcha.
is no.
Going inside the courtroom.
I think that you were I think it's entirely possible that this lady followed her lawyer's advice and asked you for a lien. I think that you wanted to put your own lien on there, and I don't think you told her you were putting a lien. I think you put a lien on there just in case the credit card payment didn't go through. Having said all that, here's where I'm having the legal difficulty in what you are doing. When you're in court, you have to be able to say, Judge, he needs to pay me $5,000. Why? Because I'm out the $5,000, thanks to what he did. He didn't put a lien on, and now I can't collect against Joe. Do you see the part of that puzzle that's missing in court right now? It's the I can't collect against Joe part. That is one of the things you have to prove to make him pay you $5,000. You see? And that's the part you can't prove because you're not even suing Joe. I mean, you say to me, he doesn't have anything. Well, I can't just take your word for that. I mean, if Joe has a car You
So
understand
how
what
would I go after him?
Listen to me. According to you, you had Joe sign loan documents. You did have Joe sign loan documents, right? You're not
Yes, I
lying.
did.
Then what's the problem? What have you done in this lawsuit in order to show me that it's impossible for you to collect against Joe? Nothing, because you didn't even bother to sue Joe. So here's what I am going. Now stop. We're done. Here's what I am going to do. I'm going to dismiss this case without prejudice. That means that after you sue Joe, bring him to court, and are unable to collect against him because he got rid of the car, has no assets or whatever, then you would be in a position to make him pay this. But you're not in a position now to make him pay this. No! That is what I am going to do. Okay? That's my judgment.
Well, Judge Milian does the plaintiff a favor and dismisses without prejudice, so come on in here. You were listening, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay. What did you hear her say?
I heard her said she was dismissing the case without prejudice and that I should go after Joe. But I feel they stole the car from me, the plaintiff, the defendant, and Joe.
Fine, Joe. All right. Head right down this way.
Thank you.
All right, so come on in here.
How are you?
Judge wasn't too happy with you either, but the law is the law, and so she couldn't rule against you.
Well, with Ms. Corral in business, you make decisions. Like life, you have to make decisions, you have consequences. She decided to loan her employee money, and then it became my problem. And she told me she didn't trust me, which is, I've never heard a judge say that in her life.
That's just an opinion.
Well,
Harvey?
I guess.
Okay, well, I got to say, this lady's absolutely right. You should never, ever, 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 ever loan money to anybody if you don't know them really well. And even then, you have to protect yourself by getting something in writing showing what is owed in writing. That'll do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.